region. Mr. Fisk, there, a fairly harrowing account of what life is like on the ground. Now, I interviewed you for Aljazeera on December the 29th, when just a few days after this thing all kicked off. We didn't know where things were going then, did we? But how do you assess the situation?
Well, I think I said then, and I was in Toronto at the time, that they were going to get a lot worse. And unfortunately, I was right. Look, there's two points of view on this. One is that the Israelis have 6 days left to accomplish this impossible mission, whatever they think their mission is, because then Barack Obama is going to be inaugurated as President of the United States. And the theory that I'm hearing in the Arab world, because I'm in Beirut now, is, oh, well, the Israelis will have to finish by then. There is another theory, however, which is the Fisk theory, that they don't, that they can carry on and confront, at the right beginning of the Obama presidency, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and Israel is going to win. So that from the very start, I mean, I don't think it will win, I don't think Hamas will either, but from the very start, Obama is going to be faced with his preposterous Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, forgive me for being so frank, with fait accompli. Israel is fighting the war on terror on behalf of the United States. Is Obama ready to challenge that ridiculous and preposterous thesis at the very beginning of his presidency? This is the issue which we're going to come up against. This is going to be the news story. Whether the networks realize that or not, I don't know. But this is going to be the news story in the next few days.
Is there a possibility that Mr. Obama could take up this opportunity and call on Israel for a ceasefire, call on both sides for a ceasefire?
Oh, he'll call on everybody for a ceasefire, and he'll call on both sides to exercise restraint. That's what the Americans always do when the Israelis and the Lebanese, or the Hezbollah and the Israelis, are fighting it out. You know, it's a bit like, I'm sorry to say this, it's a bit like listening to a cassette. Every time there's a war between Arabs and Israelis, the language is exactly the same. The Arab League will hold an emergency summit. There'll be a committee formed. The Israelis will listen to the Americans, but they'll go on to the end in rooting out world terror. What was it Ehud Barak said the other day? We will go on to the bitter end. The Israelis have been going on to the bitter end in 78 in Lebanon, in 82 in Lebanon, in 93 in Lebanon, in 96 in Lebanon, in 2006 in Lebanon. It's so tiresome to listen to these lies being constantly pushed out by the Arabs and by the Israelis and by the Americans. The issue is that the Palestinians of Gaza, and this is the real story, do not come from Gaza. The Palestinians of Gaza come from that part of Palestine that became Israel. And the place where the rockets, the Hamas pathetic rockets, are falling are the lands which were owned by the people who now live in Gaza. And this is the story which you and Aljazeera tell, but which the Western media do not tell. Or my newspaper did, I'm pleased to say. But, you know, this is the big irony that in any other story, in any other part of the world, the Congo, China, India, Kashmir, people would tell the story. But in the Middle East, they don't, because the issue is the dispossession of Palestinians, and that remains the center of the issue of justice, and then, from there onwards, democracy and what you will.
Well, Robert Fisk, we're going to continue telling this story, certainly over the next hour and a half with you. So if you hang on there, we'll be back with you a little bit later.
Yeah, I will.
Thanks very much.